Hey everyone, Travis here on day 3 of PAX Prime. Just following LMQ's entrance as the third and final team for North America into Worlds, and I'm joined by Scarra. Scarra, what did you think of that match just now? Because it was, it looks like it was going to be cursed there for a while.
Well, after 2 games, I was like, I saw the third game. At the start of the third game, I was like, okay, LMQ has a really good chance of winning this game. But Curse is 2-0, they have the momentum. I'm going to go grab lunch, and we'll see what happens. So when they go grab lunch, they found out they won. LMQ swung the series back 2-0. I came back for the 5th game, and I saw the bands of picks for the 5th game and said LMQ won.
Why did they win just based off of those bands of picks?
Because it was really obvious, like, Void was going to play, like, Akali or Yasuo. And, like, in fact, like, with how the bans went and, whatchamacallit, Curse prioritizing Lulu over Maokai, they ended up with a sticky situation where Braum got taken first, and then Maokai got taken, and those two are very anti-melee, anti-assassin champions. And so even had Curse early rotated Yasuo instead of Akali, they still would have been in a lot of trouble. I thought that they got out-drafted really, really hard there, and I really didn't think there was a way to recover as soon as they locked in Akali.
For Curse, I mean, they look so sad on the player cams. You've been through ups and downs yourself, Scarra. What is it like for them right now?
It sucks, man. It's like you would rather be 5th place than you would be 4th place right now, because like you played for your chance to live the dream to go to the Worlds and to win the World Championships, and that dream just like crumbled. But the thing is, like, you had the chance, you had the shot, and it was there, and then you just weren't able to take it. And for, like, let's say us, like, we had their chance, and so they're feeling like what we felt after we lost in the quarters.
Hey, by the way, I didn't have a chance to talk to you after that match, but what did you think of CLG against you guys?
I thought that they're... You know what? I don't even know. I think their draft wasn't too bad. I just feel like we were just more of a team than they were in that series. I don't even think they played too badly individually. I think that we just outplayed them as a team.
What do you think of Charlie, the analyst from Cloud9?
I think he's really good. I think he's super underrated, actually.
You're saying that just because he kissed you?
Yeah, that's everyone who kisses me.
Oh, well, I don't want to explore that situation personally, but I'll take your word for it. Yeah, you have any thoughts on what they need to do before they get into relegation, or before their match comes up in relegation matches?
They need to go take a break. They need to go, like, out for, like, a vacation or something. And I'm being 100% serious. I think mentally their team is not stabilized at all. So, and I think that there's a lot of internal problems. And for now, there's no way to fix it long term. And I don't even know if they're gonna fix it long term. Like, I foresee like a roster change on CLG. And so in the short term, they should just try to like calm down and at least enjoy the game to some extent before relegation. I don't think CLG will lose relegations. I think even if they lose this relegation match, there's no way they lose the expansion tournament, which I call like the last chance tournament. Like, I don't think there's any way they can lose that unless they literally disband. Yeah, so just to make sure they win the relegation tournament, they should just take stuff easy and try their best at like just enjoying the game. I think that's a big thing.
I don't know how much you follow Challenger, but I'm curious if you have any suggestions or ideas for them on who they should pick first, or who they should pick to play, since I think they have first pick, right?
I think Team 8 losing Cali Trolls. From what I understand, Cali Trolls is going to school, and that's like a huge loss for them, because not only did he play off-meta champs, he also commonly played carry champs from top lane as well. And so losing that aspect of their play is really, really big. I think even though the rest of the team is pretty good, them losing that player, like, and them having to pick up a new player and practice in like a week or 2 is like really, really big. It's a huge deal. And I would probably point them out as like maybe one of the easier teams. I don't know the strength of Coast because they got 2 Korean. Like there's so much drama recently that like that kind of got swept under the rug. But Coast picked up 2 Korean players for Rux and Golden Glue. I don't even know who these players are. Like I have no idea what to think about Coast right now.
Finally, kind of curious, what do you think of just the way that all of this panned out? Because when I showed up here people had told me like yesterday that Curse was just going to completely stomp Cloud9. Like time and time again since I got here, all these pros, analysts, teams have been telling me everything, and then it pans out the exact opposite.
Okay, here's what really happens. In scrims, it's really hard to judge certain teams because certain teams don't play like they do in scrims in LCS. A really good example is LMQ. I think LMQ is a team that sandbags the most in scrims, and I don't mean sandbags like a negative term. I mean they just go for kills. Like, in fact, I feel like their entire scrim practice is just practicing how to fight chaotically and just skirmishing over and over again. And it's really frustrating to scrim them if you're trying to play against a strategic team because they are not a strategic team in scrims. But in LCS, they show like a lot more different like styles. But in scrims, you're like not that good to scrim if you want strategy. And I'm going to segue this into C9 because C9 is also a team that does a lot of different stuff in scrims. And the most common thing they do is that High actually sandbag scrims. And not in a negative way, but he ends up testing a lot of new stuff in scrims, which constantly causes him to die. In fact, I think every single team I talk to, when High plays scrims mid, he just like dies over and over and over again. And their team still sometimes wins because they're just such a good team together. And in LCS, he tightens his play a lot. Like, he knows what works, what doesn't. And so a lot of times you'll go into LCS, you'll be like, well, C9 and LMQ are going to get crushed because, like, what they do in scrims is different. Like, and it's dumb. It's dumb, but you can recognize it because I definitely know, like, in scrims, like, because I talked to a bunch of teams, like, High may commonly go 0-5 in, like, a lot of our scrims. But I don't use that as any kind of aspect of like how good they'll be at playoffs. Because I know they're a great team. I know for LCS, they put on like their try-hard pants or whatever.
I know that you got all these fans here, but I just want to know what you are going to do now, Scarra, because you're free for a long time, all the way through Worlds. Like, what does Scarra do?
Break. Vacation. Honestly, I'm probably just going to stream. I don't have family to go back to in the States. My family's in China. So I really don't have anything to do, really. Like, everyone else on the team is just going to leave. They're all going to leave to see family, friends, whatever. And I'm just going to be staying here and, like, streaming or just, you know, enjoying my time in LA. Maybe I'll hang out with some people.
Because I happen to live in LA. So, you know, if you got some free time and, you know, I've got some free time, I thought maybe we could get some dinner, maybe do some shopping, something like that.
If you're asking me out on a date, Travis, you're going to have to pay.
Well, we can negotiate the final terms. Do you have any shout-outs, anything you want to say?
I think the biggest thing is just to the fans. Like, I'm here in this stadium. I'm literally looking around. Fans have stayed during our entire interview, and they're still waiting for the players to come down because they really want to see them. I think without them, this would not be even considered remotely close to a sport. Without them, we and me as like a not only like an ex-player and a coach would not be relevant. I think without them, we would be nowhere. But with them, we're this, you know, like everything around here. I think they're the first and foremost people to thank. Obviously, and I like to thank like Team Dignitas, our fans. I know we placed 5th, which sucks, but honestly, next season's going to have, I don't even know what's going to happen next season, you know? I don't even know my future plans. So I guess we'll come across that sometime later. I guess just like my last thing is just like I like to thank all the sponsors for Team Dignitas. And as well as you, Travis, for interviewing all the players and for interviewing me. I know you get a lot of shit, Travis, but it's not all deserved. Just most of it.
Well, as long as it's only most of it, not all of it, then I feel comfortable signing out this interview with. You can check out the rest of our coverage of all things esports, PAX, and more at ongamers.com.